Okay, and we should be up and running. Welcome in, everybody, to the Frontline Football Playoff Predictions live stream. The matchups are set. Things went weirdly, but at the same time, not weirdly. It was an interesting week of football. So, week 18, or week 17, week 18, I think it was week 18, is in the books. We're on to playoff football. The time is now, and I guess we're going to open it up right away with the first matchup of Wildcard Weekend. The Miami Dolphins, who beat the Jets and then had a Patriots loss, are in as the 7th seed. They are taking on division champs, number 2 seed, Buffalo Bills. First off, I guess we can look at the polls real quick. Not a single one of you picked the Dolphins to win. So it's
100% Bills.
Really, I see 50-50 on mine.
Did somebody pick the Dolphins?
Wait, there's a person. I'm seeing like the actual breakdown of the polls. It's 100% Bills.
Then why does it show on this one? Wait, I'll show my phone real quick. I'm just
Are you
gonna
looking
turn
at
my
the
camera.
Chargers? Wait, which?
No. Focus, stupid thing.
There's no 50% on this. This is 100%.
So what does that say?
Why does it say 50-50
Oh
on
yeah,
there?
I finally get to show off my room. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I
Whoa.
was too late.
He has a face?
No, it's not the Urban Meyer. It's not Urban Meyer getting a lap dance. But yeah, I got 2 cool things up. So yeah, it took me almost a year to do that. So,
Wait,
yeah.
he's white?
Okay, that's a little racist. Okay.
I didn't
All
know.
Okay, polls are up.
I did not know that. What the? That's crazy.
Literally, never mind. We literally live in the same house.
Oh, no. Oh. Should we get back to the matchup?
Yes, we got kind of sidetracked, but that's fine. So prediction for this is
Oh, not to mention the damn polls.
Yep, the polls. There's a very clear consensus amongst the polls that the Buffalo Bills are going to win this game, and I think the Buffalo Bills are probably going to win this game. I watched that Jets-Dolphins game, and that Dolphins win was very uninspiring for the most part. It was just Joe Flacco getting bullied for 60 minutes pretty much. Michael LaFleur lost his job because of whatever the heck he put up there. It was not some good offense by the Jets. And the Dolphins really didn't do that much either. They struggled to move the ball. They did just enough. They scored it was 9 points. There was a safety in there, so that made the score look weird, but it was not a lot. And the Dolphins' defense has also been kind of sketchy. Overall, the Bills are just a number 2 seed. They've got everything clicking. They're ready to go. They're not dropping a game to Skylar Thompson. Skylar Thompson's not winning a playoff game. I don't think it's going to happen in Buffalo. I don't think there's much more to say about this one. The Bills are going to win it pretty easily.
Oh yeah, I agree too. I think everyone's gonna agree here, but
I agree.
yeah, the Bills look more motivated coming into this matchup. I think if we mostly all saw the New England game. They had 2 kick return touchdowns from, was it Hines? Yeah, it was Naheem Hines.
Yep.
Yeah, 2 of those, and it's been a really nice time. Now we have seen problems with the Bills, but they're not as glaring as the Dolphins, and this should be an easy ride to probably facing either the Bengals or the Ravens, I believe. The Bengals, though. I'll get a little later, though. So, yeah, give me the Bills here.
Yeah, I gotta go with Bills here too because the Dolphins, they fell into the 7th seed. I've never seen a team do that before, just fall into the 7th seed like the Dolphins did. They look so... Okay, can we all agree with this? The Dolphins looked so amazing at the beginning of the year, and then the wheels fell off after the Tua concussion.
Then it was
Won the first or the second? Wait, he has 3.
Yeah, there were 3 this year.
I think it was...
It was the first, right? Or the
First was the Bengals game. Then they went on to lose.
first was the Bengals game, then it was the Bills game, right?
And then it was the Bengals game.
Oh yeah, it started in the Bills game, and then the Bengals game. It happened again.
Yeah. They've been falling off since.
And then they completely collapsed.
Because I heard a lot of BS
Didn't help
before then. I heard like freaking Tua for MVP and stuff like that.
Well, yeah, it's not like 3 concussions. I don't think he's winning MVP. I'm sorry, Dolphins fans. He's not winning MVP.
Not this year.
But yeah.
Well, he's MVP for like. Is there like an injury thing that you can get? Because he knows his doctor pretty well now. Well, maybe he doesn't because concussions.
The doctor got fired in the middle of the year, Zach.
Yeah, I forgot.
Because Tua got.
All right.
Yeah, you're fine. But yeah, didn't also Mike McDaniels wear a shirt that said "I wish it was colder"? And they went 0-4 in December.
Then responded by not winning a single game in December. Good stuff.
You know, he actually has never won a game below 40 degrees.
Wow.
We should work on that.
Yeah.
It's his first year as a head coach. I'm not gonna judge him.
What's the
He's
weather
doing.
in Buffalo?
Okay, he's already better than Nathaniel Hackett and Urban Meyer. Okay.
Lovie Smith is better than.
Pretty low bar, but.
Are you?
Hey, shut up. You get what I'm saying, though. Like,
I'd
he's
probably
better
be
than
better
those
at
guys.
Bobby Petrino on some days. That
He can't
doesn't.
even make the excuse he's a first-year head coach in the playoffs because, like, there's so many teams in this. I know we've been on this take for a long time, but there's so many teams in the playoffs. The Giants, the
There's like
Vikings that have first-year head coaches. I'm not counting. Okay, we can't count Doug Peterson as a first-year head coach because he literally coached the Eagles to a
He
Super
had a
Bowl.
playoff run in the past.
He's already won a Super Bowl. He's not a first year head coach. He's just a first year
Oh,
head
yeah.
coach.
All right, so we probably should get to the next teams, which is 2 coaches that have seen the Super Bowl a couple times, which is the Niners and the Seahawks, because I'm introducing this one. Yeah, the Niners are looking really good. Their run defense is amazing, and Kenneth Walker's probably just going to get stuffed the entire game, making Geno Smith have he's prone to making mistakes, especially when the running game doesn't get set. I think we've all seen it now. I've seen it the most because of these stupid teams are my rivals. And I'm not happy that Brock Purdy and Geno Smith are playing in a playoff game. That makes me so mad. And I don't even... Damn. So, yeah. And it's been a bad season. It's been like a good season for the Niners, but the Seahawks are just kind of like the Lions, but like early... They like the opposite, right? Because the Seahawks had this really good start, and then the horrible ending. Well, the Lions had a really bad start, but like a really nice ending. So, I don't know, but that's my take. I think the Niners are gonna just destroy these guys. Probably the score will be like 42 to like 7. So, yeah.
Yeah. I think I'm going with Niners too, because it was either gonna be this or Packers. So Niners were moving on either way. The Seahawks and the Dolphins had the same thing. They started off great and then they fell off. What? That was weird with both sides seats. So yeah, I got Niners here.
I'm also going Niners here. These 2 versus 7 seeds. I don't think we've seen a single 7 seed upset yet. It's been around for 2-3 years. Hasn't happened quite yet. We've seen some weird games like the Mitchell Trubisky MVP game. That was an interesting one, but still, it's yet to happen at this point. Brock Purdy is the man. In the last 5 weeks, it's nothing but 49ers W's. They just keep winning, scoring a lot of points. Healthy CMC and Kittle. You're getting Debo back healthier. It feels like the Niners should have this one in the bag. They're getting hot at the right time. They're healthy at the right time, and it's just lining up well. Well, the Seahawks team, this is a pretty good season considering the expectations they went into the season with. They finished on a 2-game winning streak. They struggled against the Rams a little bit, so I don't expect them to win the playoff game. So it's more of a good for them for being their thing. They're not going to be able to do much here, though. The Niners are ready to go, and they're going to be moving on to the second round pretty easily here.
All right, cool. Our next matchup is the Bengals and the Ravens. Yeah, kind of with this one, too. I think it's kind of obvious. They're starting Tyler Huntley at quarterback. They kind of need to win games when Lamar is playing, and Lamar's injury is worse than what we have expected. So this is not going too well for them. And even the Ravens are going to be in a struggle right now because Lamar is leaving This is a really weird situation. I don't really need to mention the Bengals too much in this take, probably, because I think we all know how good the Bengals are and how much motivation they have to do a Super Bowl run. And probably play the Bills next week.
Yeah.
Because, they got their matchup taken away, so I think that they're both very much motivated to see each other in the playoffs.
I think all of our takes and 92% of people agreeing with us.
Yeah, I forgot the polls. My bad.
The last one, it was 100% Niners.
Yeah, I'm not.
This one is 92 to 8%.
Who's the 8%?
There's one
bro.
believer in the Ravens out there.
There's one vote for the Ravens. 11 votes.
They probably just don't know that Lamar's not playing. I've seen a lot of people make that mistake.
Yeah.
Because people think that Lamar is coming back, but his knee injury is a lot worse than we thought.
They need to pay him.
But,
they need to pay him. Pay him his money.
But, he's injured right now, so I was just mentioning the injury part. He's not holding out.
Pay him. Dude.
They pay Roquan
he's not.
a lot of money.
Yeah, they did pay Roquan pretty handsomely.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, but that's kind of what I was saying. So if you guys want to take over this, I didn't really say anything about the Bengals, so you guys could do something with that.
I'm also going Bengals here. Pretty obvious for me. I'm very high in the Bengals again. I feel like they're one of the most complete teams. They have sneaky good defense, especially last year during the playoff push. Their defense kind of clutched up against Mahomes in that conference game. Obviously, the Ravens are dealing with a lot of stuff. Lamar has no contract. Roquan Smith got a contract, so that's good. But still, if you look at their second half of the season, it hasn't been great. Couple chokes leads, barely squeaking by teams like the Falcons and just flat out dropping to Steelers, Bengals, which makes sense in Week 17. But overall, failed to score 20 or more points since Week 12. It's been a while since their offense has been able to do anything. And while their defense can play well, maybe keep them in the game, I think at some point they're going to get overwhelmed by Joe Burrow. They feel a little outmatched. I think the Bengals are going to win this one, and my last one of the very confident that the teams are winning out of these three. Give me the Bengals.
Yeah, I think Bengals too, because Joe Burrow and his team seem dead set on first, playing the Bills, but two, getting revenge for the Super Bowl. Because I think a lot of people kind of forget that this is a Super Bowl team. They were in it last year. So, and if they didn't face that Rams team, I think with any other team, they probably would have won. They were a great underdog, but now they're favorites, and they got to do something. So give me the Bengals winning their first matchup here.
I guess
next
that
matchup
brings us to our next one, which is going to be the Giants traveling to Minnesota, take on the Vikings. This one's weird. I guess we can look at the polls real quick, see what everybody's thinking. It's a lot of Giants. It's 82% Giants, 18% Vikings. Wow. I get that the Vikings are a little sketchy, but not the Giants are winning handily here. That's a little surprising, but I guess I'll start out with this one. I'm going to go with the Vikings, though. The Vikings are the ultimate boom or bust team. We see it every week, week in, week out. They struggle a lot, but when their offense goes off, they're able to win games. They're normally nail-biters. They're one-score games. They give their fans heart attacks a lot. Stuff like that. And in the playoffs, I think it's going to be a very similar kind of vibe. They're either going to freaking go to the Super Bowl on a crazy Kirk Cousins, Justin Jefferson run, or the Giants are ending them right here, right now. And I don't think there's any in between with that. They're either going to go crazy or they're going to completely come out flat. But I'm going to bet on them actually doing well this week. I think the Giants are going to be able to stay in it. Run game is doing well. Kenny Golladay caught a touchdown last week. Major accomplishment for him. He was able to finally do something after years of waiting. But the Giants, they seem good. They're going to be in it because the Vikings never have games where they comfortably win. But I'm going to give the edge to the Vikings here, slightly. I think they're the boom or bust team with this playoff bracket. I'm going to go with them to boom the first week. So give me the Vikings.
Guess I'll take this one next. Yeah, I'm actually gonna go against you. I think Giants. I think that the Vikings are kind of done with the season. It was a good season, but it's just kind of concerning when they lose to the Packers by 41-17. And, like, I know these are, like, the division rivals they're losing to, and the Cowboys. That's the Eagles. So basically, it's just the East and then their own division, which very good. But I just think, again, this is a NFC East team. They've had struggles with the others. It's just, I feel like it's the Giants' time to like win a playoff game and not have the boat incident be a thing. So, and if they stay away from the boats, I think they'll be just fine. And also, they're playing in Minnesota. I don't think that there's any boats in Minnesota. I don't think they're close to the ocean. I don't think. But okay. So yeah, give me the Giants here.
Yeah, I gotta go with Giants too because Brian Dable has he's blown our expectations out of the water here. Dang, I was about to say a really good take, but the Giants ruined it for me. I thought the Giants, the last time they had the 6th seed, it was, what's it called? What was that year? It was 2007, but nope, they didn't have it. They had the 5th seed. But still, Dable, I think, is going to win this first match. It's the Vikings. Because the thing is, a lot of people don't take into account with this, is that it doesn't matter what the seeding says. It's about who's hot at what time. You could have a 1st or 2nd seed that has it because they started off really well, but then they lost the last stretch of games. So don't take these records into account. It's just who's hot at what time. And I think the Giants have gotten hot. Like another team I'm about to see. So give me the Giants here. But yeah. So everyone said their take?
Yeah.
Okay, so what's our next matchup?
You're taking the next matchup.
Okay. Our next matchup is the Jags, or what's it called? It's the Chargers traveling to Duval to play Jacksonville. I really think that the Jags are going to win. It's like I said for the last team, the Giants. The Jags have just gotten hot at the right time, and this is more true for them. While the Chargers are going into it with Mike Williams being injured. Of course, he is still playing, but he did have an injury scare. And the Jags, they fought hard to be here. From 3-7 to now, they are kings of the AFC. I don't know if that's not a lot, but from what they've done, they've gotten hot at the right time. And I think that this could be a Saxonville leg, which we'll see whenever my full playoff record comes up. But I gotta give it to the Jags here. Does anyone else have anything to add on?
I mean, I think one concerning flaw about the Jags is that Trevor Lawrence can, like, he either has, like, some amazing game where he, like, just completely lights a team up on, like, fire. And these, like, last 2 games, he's just kind of let the defense do the work, and that's concerning because the playoffs really make or break quarterbacks. And if you don't show up in the playoffs, it's kind of bad. It's actually really bad because the playoffs are the hardest time. Starting to center in on key pieces of your offense, defense, try to see if they can get any edge on you. And I feel like if Trevor Lawrence really has a bad game, he could lose to the Chargers, but I don't think he's going to have a bad game because I feel like he's been a playoff experience before. Not on the NFL level, but in college level. I know that's a little different. But he's going to get some decent defenses, and he's done pretty decent with them. He's can't use... We've seen in other playoff matchups in college when he was there. He uses his legs. He's not going to be able to use his legs as much. I think he's actually going to have to depend on ETN being able to run the ball and then him being able to find like different passing lanes, which is most likely going to be opened up because of ETN. Like, if you have anything to say about it, or do you kind of agree with me and Josh about the Jags?
I'm also going Jags here. When it comes to the Jags, like Josh said, it's not always about seeding. They did get their division, but they found a way to get hot at the right time. Post-bye, they are, that is 6-1. They've been very impressive, and while Trevor hasn't been doing as much, especially last week, which was mainly a defensive win, it's still been good enough to win games. And I think he can turn it on if he needs to when it comes playoff time. Like Zach said, he's got experience in those situations, playing at Clemson, playing in national championships. And overall, this Chargers team, they're just a weird bunch. They seem like this was a weird season for them. They've also kind of heated up. They won 4 in a row, except for this one to finish out the season. Should have rested their starters still if they were going to lose anyway, but it's just been strange so far. They beat a collapsing Dolphins team, Titans team that was also collapsing, Colts team, Jeff Saturday, all that. We know how that goes. And then the Baker Mayfield Rams, so it's not like they've been world beaters against good competition quite yet. Not to mention the Jags blew them out week 3 as well. So it's a strange situation, but I'm just not sold on this Chargers team. I think you have Justin Herbert, so you could theoretically win any game because he's Justin Herbert. But Trevor Lawrence, you could make a similar argument for. I think Trevor Lawrence is just a little hotter right now. I'm going to give the edge to him.
Dang, we all agreed on Jags.
This is so crazy how the Jags, after all that Urban Meyer stuff last year,
they completely turned everything around.
I think it's kind of because of coaching, though. It's not just kind of. I think development obviously happened, and Trayvon's been actually a pretty nice piece lately. You know, he's not like another Georgia linebacker like Quay Walker. Oh, yeah, not linebacker. He plays. I know that he plays edge, but also Quay can also play edge. So,
since we're talking about this probably to. Did you know that Bobby Petrino was just hired as the offensive coordinator for Texas A&M?
That's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, the guy who quit on his team by giving them a letter to go to Arkansas.
Did he also show up in like a neck brace?
Yeah, because he was second with his mistress.
That's kind of cool.
What?
Let's get to the next team before I get canceled.
Yeah, because, what's it called? I just remembered that. So, yeah. Oh, yeah, the next team. I forgot to say the polls for that one, too. Yeah, the polls were 55%, 55% James. So pretty close, actually. And our final matchup of the day goes, how about them Cowboys versus Brady and the Bucks? Now, a little bit of a fun fact here. This is Brady's first ever losing season of his career. He's never done this before, but he still made the playoffs for some reason. Don't know why. But yeah, 55% viewers think that the Cowboys will go into Raymond James and beat the Bucks. 45% say the Bucks are going to defend their home turf. I'll start it off again. I think that the Buccaneers are winning this because the thing is with the Cowboys, this is their perfect time to choke away everything that they had. Also, we cannot forget what happened in week 1 of this year, where the Cowboys went into Raymond James and lost because they've already done this before. This is, what's it called? They've done this for 2 years in a row. And I don't know what's going to be different about this one. Playoff implications. All we're going to see is a better version of Tom Brady. And he's going to turn up for the playoffs. I know that much. And the Cowboys are known for choking in the playoffs. So, I don't know what's happening here, but I think that the Bucks are going to. Does anyone else have anything to add?
Yeah, because I'm going with an opposite take. I'm saying Cowboys. Have we seen Tom Brady get like under pressure? And just Micah's development this season has been great. He's probably, if Nick Bosa wasn't a thing, probably Defensive Player of the Year. It's kind of crazy how good he is. And he's going to get to Tom Brady. Note that was Tom Brady with a healthy Tristan Wirfs. Like, he had a healthy everything. This is Tom Brady with a beat-up O-line that is injured. He has Mike Evans that has just started to work. Chris Godwin just came back from a weird injury-ish. I know it was a little later. Like, this team is like... This is a very injured team, and we know that they have a losing record, right? I get the records don't matter, but I feel like getting 9 losses is a little concerning when you're losing to the Steelers, the Panthers, the Ravens, the Browns. Makes sense for the Bengals. And then you're losing your last game to the Falcons. Like, I get you won your division, but then you also lose to the Packers. Like, come on. Like, the Cowboys have beat so many better teams, and they've only lost 5 games. And I get one of them's to the Bucks, another one's to the Packers. So the Packers argument, the Jags, they're pretty good. We're supposed to have them going kind of deep. They kind of locked up. Well, we don't talk about the Commanders game. So, and then the Eagles, and that's a division rival. So, I don't really see the point there. Of I get Tom Brady's different in the playoffs. But what if we don't see a different Tom Brady? What if we see the Titans, Patriots game? Then like. It's a lot worse because Mike is just killing Tom Brady. Who knows? That's just me though. I don't know. Jack, do you have any thing to add? Or are you gonna go with Josh or me?
I'm siding with you in this one. I'm going with the Cowboys here. I get there's always a chance that Tom Brady just magically goes God mode in the playoffs and destroys everybody, wins the Super Bowl again because he's Tom Brady. But this year's just been different. It took a lot to even get to this point. They almost lost the Panthers division against the Panthers here. Took a 200-yard game from Mike Evans, which was an outlier. He hadn't been good in months before the fact. And overall, I'm just looking at an inconsistent team. It's like maybe at some point Tom Brady's just not going to pull it off. At some point it's just going to be gone. He's not going to be able to do it anymore. I don't love Todd Bowles as coach. I don't know if he's going to have his team ready to go to the playoffs. This is his first time in the playoffs. And overall, the Cowboys, at some point, I get they do the thing. They like to choke every year in the playoffs, but they just feel kind of locked in. They're a little inconsistent as of late, but still, I think they're going to get it done. Micah's going to be ready to go. If Dak is able to play decent, limit the turnovers. He's struggled with turnovers this year. I think he's tied for most in the league with Derek Carr. And that's with not playing a little bit of the season too. So limit the turnovers, and I think the Cowboys will be able to win this game here.
Okay,
right,
so
cool. We're gonna do our predictions on who's gonna win the Super Bowl, but we're just saying who's the Super Bowl champs that we're thinking, and what number one was their ride to get there. So yeah. So Becky, since you just went, do you want to start?
I guess I'll go with mine first.
Okay.
And it was tough. I'll put the bracket up for you now, though. It goes a little bit. Boom. And the Super Bowl champion for me is going to be the Cincinnati Bengals. I think they get it done this year. There's a lot of good teams in the AFC. I call them the Big Three, the Chiefs, the Bills, and the Bengals. All teams that can realistically get to the Super Bowl and win it if they're able to get there. But the Bengals, they fell a little short last year to a Rams team with a lot of ring chasers on it and a crazy game. But overall, they feel ready to go this year. They got some experience. They're healthy. Jamar Chase is finally back. Their offense is relatively balanced and complete at this point. Their defense always seems to come around. Last year, they were critical of the playoff run, as I said in the take earlier. They were able to do some stuff. They were clutch. And I think if their defense can just play well enough, offense continues to overwhelm people with the elite playmakers around them, I think they can realistically go toe-to-toe with anybody in this. So their road is not easy by any means. Obviously, they have the Ravens, who I think they can handle. They beat them last week. Probably going to beat them this week. Then you get run into the Bills. That's when it gets a little hard. Joe Burrow's going to have to go into Buffalo, and he's going to have to beat a Bills team that's also starting to figure it out and becoming lethal at this time of year. And then if he's able to get past that, you have to go to Arrowhead. Now, I'm not as worried about that because Joe Burrow seems to have a relatively good time when it comes to handling Mahomes. He's able to beat him. He knows how to do it. It's something he's very capable of. And then he reaches the Super Bowl, which for me, I said the Eagles. Honestly, I think it's going to be the Eagles and Niners. I went back and forth. I ultimately gave it to the Eagles. If Jalen Hurts can get healthy, hopefully, I think they're going to be ready for a deep playoff run. And ultimately, I see the Bengals coming out on top. I think they finished what they started last year. They were that close, and they're not going to let it slip by them this year. So I'm going to take the Bengals as a 3 seed, going all the way and winning the Super Bowl.
You want to go ahead and say yours?
Yeah, sure. I'll go ahead and say them. I have my champion as the Buffalo Bills, and here's my path for them. Obviously, week 1, they beat the Dolphins. Next up, they beat the Bengals. And then this is going to be my whole road to the playoffs. They're going to beat the Jaguars, who I say are going to beat Andy Reid after a win. I don't know. I just feel it that the Jaguars are going to make some sort of dumb run, and so it's going to be Bills Jags, and then in the Super Bowl, they will meet against the Philadelphia Eagles, who, like Jackson, beat the Niners, and the Bills will be winning their first Super Bowl. It only took them 5 attempts. Zach.
You guys are really putting me in a corner here. Damn. Yeah, I can't. I can decide one, but man, the AFC is like there's 3 people I can see getting out of the AFC, and that's the Chiefs, the Bills, and the Bengals. And I went with the Bengals like Jack, but my Super Bowl champ is a little different. I'm gonna say the Eagles win it all. The Eagles have been looking like the most complete team this entire year, and they're gonna keep it up. Now their playoff road for me is they get a bye week, which is great because Jalen Hurts, his shoulder is like really messed up right now. I feel like a little bit of time, give him a week. I think he'll be back to normal, back to normally throwing. They still got an amazing rushing game, everything. There's a lot of ring chasers on this team too, which I'll mention a little later. Then they go against the Giants because they beat the Vikings, so Giants, which I see them winning, obviously. Then they go against the Niners, which I feel like everyone has them doing that. Then they meet the Bengals in the Super Bowl. And I see the Eagles winning just because there's a lot of ring chasers on this team. Now, they weren't planning on being ring chasers, but when you see this team, you'd think of a ring chasing team. Darius Slay, James Bradbury, Miles Sanders is on this squad. I know he's here before. They got, what's that guy? Robert Quinn. They just have a lot of different pieces on this team that have not won a ring yet. And they're probably going to win a pretty nice ring against the Bengals. The Bengals also have a really hard time with these type of teams, especially when they have such a dynamic game of being able to run and pass the ball, which is not a common thing. Usually the Chiefs, the Bengals, and the Bills all are great at passing the ball, but when it comes to running, they're a little inefficient and they can't get it set up. The Bengals are exception because of Joe Mixon, but still, I think the Eagles are able to stop them, especially with that great defense that I just mentioned, with James Bradbury and Darius Slay. Also with, I believe, it's Chauncey Gardner-Johnson up in the safety. So I think the Bengals, they've been looking like the best team, so I'm going to give it to them here and have them winning the Super Bowl. So, yeah, dang, we all had different Super Bowl champs. That's kind of crazy. Like, I was expecting one of us to choose at least the Bengals and the Bills, but
Yeah.
I'm surprised that none of you guys have the Chiefs going. Like,
Thought about the Chiefs.
I did.
they're good. Like, I'm not saying that.
I
I just think that the 2 and 3 seed are just do we just feel like the 2 and 3 seed are just better, and that really should just be the conference championship if it could have been?
Oh, for that Bengals Bills.
Yeah.
They're going to have to play in the divisional round.
Yeah, there's no way around it, is it? Yeah. If the Bills win, then they go against whoever the lowest seed is, and like they just have to face each other in the divisional, which sucks because I feel like that would be a great conference championship.
That would be.
That's just me with the storyline too. Like,
With all the stuff
perfect.
that happened and they didn't get to play that game before.
Yeah. I think the Chiefs kind of have an easy ride, though. I mean, if they get the Bills there, I feel like they can actually win. But if they get the Bengals, I think they're done because Joe Burrow's never lost to Mahomes.
Joe Burrow's a Chief killer.
Yeah, and if they go against the Bills, maybe you could agree with me here that he's beat him before. He's beat Josh Allen in the playoffs every time. Like, Mahomes. So,
Yeah,
who knows?
He's done that. He's beat him a few times. Twice, I think.
Yeah, he's undefeated against him in the playoffs. So, who knows? And they just beat him in the regular season, too. So, this is the same thing that's happening if they make it to the conference championship. Or have to face each other in some weird way. So, yeah. But that does it for our stream today. If you liked it, hit the like button. When this video is actually... when the stream has become a video, put in the comments below who you think your Super Bowl champs are. If your team is already out, well... name some draft people that you want because I've already done my mock draft since I think week 5. So yeah, and And then subscribe to our channel, turn on post notifications so you always know when we're posting. We usually post on Wednesdays, and we may do more videos. Who knows? So yeah, whenever we're free to do them. So yeah, and Jack, you want to hit the plugs?
Yep, as always, the Instagram and Twitter are right there at Frontline FB. Up there, just type it in, look there. So if you want to be part of the polls, if you wanted to go pick the Dolphins to win, you could have, but you didn't make it in time, so nobody picked them. So if you want to do stuff like that, you can. Follow us on socials for that. And as always, we hope you enjoyed this week's predictions. We'll be back here next week for the divisional round. We'll see. Playoffs are always crazy, so there's a chance that one of our Super Bowl, Zach's Super Bowl pick cannot be knocked out this week. They're not playing, but there's a chance there's crazy upsets, shockers, though I don't know what to expect from this week. There's a few interesting games. Stay tuned for it. We'll be back here next week to predict the divisional round.